Well, hello everyone, welcome, and we'll be starting in about 5 minutes. In the meantime, make sure you read the disclaimer that we have here. And also, if you haven't yet, please go ahead and go to www.tradewithufos.com/OPA and sign up. Okay, we'll be starting in less than 2 minutes here now. And again, a reminder, make sure you read the disclaimer. The disclaimer is important, and that you have signed up for your free subscription at www.tradewithufos.com/OPA. All right, we are live, and let's see here. Let's stop this. We're ready to go. If you would read the disclaimer along with me. The following video clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradedictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using our products. Users understand that all the content in the videos is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstrations do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using the products. All right, with that done and out of the way, let's go ahead and move on. Today is Wednesday here in Binh Hoa City, Dong Nai Province, Vietnam, and I am streaming to you live from the Pegasus Plaza in downtown Binh Hoa City, as I do every Wednesday at 10 a.m. my local time, and it's just after 3 a.m. in London and 10 p.m. Tuesday evening in New York Eastern Standard Time. This is Nailing FX, Spot Forex Trading Simplified. And here is a complete January trading schedule. Today is the 13th. As you can see here, now my cursor is a little better visible. I've put a halo around it and increased the size of the cursor because it was not visible. Now it is very visible, I think. Again, Nailing FX on YouTube today. Please note that the times that you will see when you click on the schedule are Eastern times. And remember, when you follow on YouTube, please like and follow the YouTube. Next week, we will again be on YouTube, same time, same place. And Nailing FX schedule, you can always get it at tradewithufos.com/OPA. When you do that, you can click on the Get Together button. And when you sign up, you always can include the schedule into your calendars. For those of you that just want to see the YouTube sessions, you can go ahead and go to tradewithufos/live. Here's the information right here. Also, make sure you follow the updates that I do on Forex Pipsville, and that's on Facebook, FX Pips Trading. If you need to get in contact with me, you can use two different email addresses. One is opa@tradedictive.com. You see that down here. And the other one is fxopabert@gmail.com. All right. So in today's session of Nailing FX, we are going to continue with our review. First part of the year, we're reviewing things and going to get you set up for trading in the future. So today we're going to focus a little bit on using the TradingView platform that we use in conjunction with the MT4 platform to see the trades. Okay, we did a profiles and templates review. We looked at some of the indicators, and hopefully today we will get to look at hunting for some potential trades. All right, so here we can see the TradingView platform. This is the Euro USD. This is a screenshot that I took yesterday, my time. You can see I always try to put a timestamp on my indication so that you know that we're not fooling around here, okay? Honest information. And so this is how I have my screen set up on TradingView. So I have the chart, I have the auto climate down below. On the chart, I've got my profile lines, my two profile lines that are significant to me, and I have the auto phase. Those are these arrows that point down and point up. Those arrows coincide with the alert arrows on MT4, and of course we have the AutoUFOs, unfilled orders. UFO is unfilled order, those little flying saucers that identify where and what areas there may be orders still sitting that have not been filled, and if they get filled, of course, it could move the market. All right, I have highlighted some areas, and I look at that. Also on the side here, you can see I have a list, a symbol list. These are the 8 majors. Of course, we traditionally only have 7 majors, but I add the 8th major, and that is the US Singapore SGD, the Singapore dollar, because the Singapore dollar has become very significant in the Asian market, and it balances out the screen when I have 8 rather than 7. And you can see in the screen behind me that there are 8 charts, and those are the 8 markets that I look at. All right, so that's using TradingView, and we're going to get into specifically TradingView and look at what we can see there. We went through all the profiles, the majors, and each one of the currency pairs to do Forex math. If you remember the Forex math, what we try to do is we try to identify what is the strongest currency and what is the weakest currency, and then match the strongest against the weakest, and obviously the strongest should prevail. So if you're trying to figure out what currency pair you should be trading, do the Forex math. And if you're tuning in for the first time and don't know what Forex math is, go ahead and look back at some of the archived, some of the saved sessions, especially the last session where we talked about I think the last 2 sessions we talked about the Forex math. Also, I have a profile that's set up for the major indices in the US. So if you're not only a Forex trader, but also trade futures, indice futures perhaps, you can use the information that we develop here to help you identify what moves might be coming in the indices, as well as gold, silver, and oil. Then we have the market overview. The big market overview is all 30. We have 30 charts up on one screen. A little bit difficult to see that, but if you have a nice big screen, a 23-inch or larger screen, you get those put up on the screen. You can very quickly scan through those charts and see what might be interesting. If you don't have a really big screen, or you need to see the charts a little better, we have Overview 1 and Overview 2, which each contain 15 of the 30. And again, the reason we have 30 is, again, to balance out the screen so it doesn't look awkward. Okay? Templates, we had templates. We went through all of the templates to discuss how they can be used and looked at. So again, templates. There's some indicators here, some additional indicators that I can provide to you. We have the spread, always looking at the spread to see what might be a good trade, and to recognize the difference between raw spread, when your broker provides the raw spread plus the commission, and just a straight broker spread, so you can see the difference by quickly seeing the spread. I have a cursor synchronization indicator. So when you put the cursor indication onto multiple charts, as you move the cursor on one chart, it moves all the charts. I have a zebra trend. It's an additional indication for trend, and then I've got some histograms, some bar charting type of things that amplify and look at it in different ways. Don't use this a lot, but it comes in handy. Then we have the MT4 UFO indications that try to mirror or mimic what we see on the trading view charts. Okay, I've got a little no lag trend indicator. That's not a big deal. And then I've got a sentiment indicator that basically tells you what the current sentiment is for the time frame that you're in. So those are additional indicators that you can get. The logic day trading indicator is a commercial indicator that I found to be very helpful. I cannot provide that to you. You have to find that, and when it's on sale, it's a good buy. Take a look for that. All right, so let's go ahead and now move on to real-time charts. We always try to do our analysis in real time, again, so that you know that we are not trying to, I am not trying to give you false information, the analysis that we do. So no matter what, even if I put on a trade that I think is a good trade, you still have to do your own trade analysis. Okay, it's important that you understand the trade analysis. I wrote a little paper, a little article on trading. People talk about copy trading, and so that analysis, I did that on my LinkedIn channel, and it's also up on the Forex at Forex Pipsville, so you can take a look. There's really no such thing as copy trading. It's very misunderstood, misleading, and so there's some clarification there. If you are or you think you're copy trading, if you're copying someone, you have to make sure that that person is a certified trade advisor, as a certified financial advisor, and that they are professional traders. And the terms, the definitions are all in that report. So you can go ahead and see if you can find that. All right, so as again, if you haven't yet, you should go ahead and subscribe to www.tradewithufos.com/OPA. The other thing, you can always do a Google search, look for Nailing FX OPA Bert, and you'll find a lot of the videos, especially the summary. I do a summary video real quick, usually less than 5 minutes. I try to keep it under 5 minutes, that just talks about what we're doing right now. So it's a review of the 1-hour trading session that I do every Wednesday. All right, so let's go ahead and let me go ahead and get rid of that. And I want to bring up the TradingView chart here. So this is a live TradingView chart. Okay, this is live TradingView chart. This is a daily chart. It's a daily, okay? And so what do I see on this chart? What are we looking at on this chart? Well, again, when you go to TradingView, it'll take a little bit of learning. There's a small learning curve in order to understand all the features, because this is a feature-rich, very feature-rich program that's available for free. However, to get the most out of it, you probably want to subscribe. And if you do subscribe or want to subscribe, anticipating to subscribe, go ahead and let me know, because I can send you the link. Subscribe through me. It'll help you. It'll help me. Full disclosure, yes, it gives me a little benefit, gives you a little benefit. So you can help me out that way. All right. So what we're seeing here is, number one, you can see over here, it's auto phase. Auto phase. What is auto phase? Auto phase are these arrows. They are both arrows pointing down and arrows pointing up. Let me see if I can get the arrows that you would see pointing up. There we go. All right, so there. Now you can see arrows coming in up and down. Now those arrows are the same arrows that you would see on an MT4 chart that has the alert indicator applied to it. Okay, the MT4 Zebra Alert. It's indicator number 48 of that set. And what it tells you is that the algorithm believes that price is likely to go down. Now, does that mean that it will? Sometimes it will, but not all the time. And as you can see here you can see there's a series of down arrows, okay? And price continued to go up, even though the algorithm said, hey, based on the information that I'm looking at, I think price could come down. So you cannot just jump on that and say, oh, I got an arrow, let's go long or go short. No, that's not what those arrows tell you. Those arrows tell you that there's a potential. It's an alert. Be aware, okay? You need to confirm, and in the indicator on MT4, we have a confirmation. But if you don't have the confirmation indicator, there's no confirmation indicator available here on TradingView early in the trading sessions, and on Forex Pipsville, there's a description of how you can visually identify a confirmation. I never take a trade based on just one piece of information or even one confirmation. I look for multiple confirmations to increase the probability, the likelihood that I'm going to take a good trade. Okay. Unfortunately, in the last 4 trades of last year, we did a little bit of experimenting, and it came to light that you don't rely solely on one type of indication. So you need to understand that. All right, so that's the auto phase. Now on the TradingView chart, the auto phase arrows show up and stay on the chart. On the MT4, the auto phase are removed basically and replaced every time an update is made where the algorithm says, whoops, I'm wrong. Maybe this is the one. Okay. And so you need to understand the differences. All right. Then we have an exponential moving average and a simple moving average that are very specific types of moving averages. They're not the plain ones that are 2 of the moving averages that create the profile. Okay, and so the blue moving average, when the blue moving average is above the red moving average and rising, it's an indication that the current trend, so this is a daily chart, it's saying that the current trend is either up or down. So we see that in the TradingView chart, the current trend. Okay. So then we have the AutoUFOs. So the AutoUFOs basically identify where, again, an algorithm believes that there is a potential for a lot of unfilled orders residing at a certain level in a certain area. And so with those unfilled orders sitting there, there's a likelihood that price may reverse or at least do a pullback. So you need to take a look at that. And you can see here we have a little zone up at the top. That red UFO, the little flying saucer right there at the top. Can you see that? Yeah, let me, it's very difficult. Okay. And then down below here, you can see some green UFOs, where they are overlapping. So that's a whole big area here where price is likely to change direction to the upside. Okay. Now, the next indicator that is showing on the TradingView chart that we use here is called the auto climate. And the auto climate is not really a histogram. It kind of shows strength to a certain degree, but what you really want to focus on is these little dots. Okay, the dots. You have the big blue dots and the little blue dots, and you have little red dots and big red dots, you know, whatever color you want to call them, magenta, whatever, just blue and red, okay? And when the dots change color, doesn't matter whether they change from big blue to big red or big blue to little red or vice versa, when they change color, we also get an indication of the potential for price to continue in that direction. Now, obviously, blue is indicating price could go up, red indicating price could go down. Now, they don't show up immediately. You know, it would be nice to have them show up and immediately tell you, wow, now it's a good time to go long or short. This is, again, just another piece of confirmation that you can use in conjunction with the information that you see on the chart. Okay, so right now on the Euro USD that I'm looking at, daily chart, where it says current, if you can see that there, it says current, and the number 3 behind it. So I'm in the third period on a daily chart. It's obviously the third day. So I'm in the third period of a down move. Okay. And if I look over here to the STDs, there's a little up arrow here. If you can see it, a little up arrow. And over here, there's a little down arrow. And so there's a number behind that, down arrow, STD down. And what I'm seeing here is that it says 4.7. So basically, the downward move should last about 5 periods. Okay, downward move should last about 5 periods. Once you've gone beyond that 5 period, the downward move might continue. Does it have to go down for 5 periods? No, but it's likely to. Okay, and so it gives you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. And so here, 2 periods ago, because I'm in the current period, that's the red dot currently right there. Okay, I'm in the current period. 2 periods ago, the algorithm switched from up blue dots to red dot. Okay, and there was some strength in that move. And then you can see we're still showing a down move, but that histogram, the little spike that you see there, has changed. Okay, and when you see those spikes, okay, especially look at the auto climate here in the center area where it was continually going up. Now it had some pullbacks, okay, and you see those little lines, those lines on there. They were large. And then they started to drop. That indicating a little, there was some weakness, right? Weakness in the climate. But here, take a look right there. If you can see that one there. Okay, what happened there? We had a blue dot, but we had a little spike, a little line to the downside of the blue dot. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, we should have those lines above the blue dot. So something changed there. That was an indication that something might be changing. And then following that, we had a little red dot showing some additional weakness. Then we had a blue dot come in and another red dot. So there was some indecision in the market showing there. Now, again, moving back to this location here, where you see we had the blue dot come in for the first time, that would have triggered a value, current value, saying 1, right? Current value being 1 for that day, and a indication of how long the move might last. And normally the algorithm doesn't, identify that we're going to have a 13 period move to one side or another. And so what I'm looking at here is if I get a auto phase indicator, okay, along with a blue dot down below, and I see that my profile, the two moving averages of the profile, are showing me a current trend to the upside. I might be inclined, as well as if I'm in a UFO area that indicates that there might be unfilled orders, unfilled buy orders, then I've got a number of confirmations just on the TradingView chart. Okay, a number of confirmations on the TradingView chart. Now, again, would I want to jump right into a trade? No, I will continue to look at the MT4 to see what the MT4 looks like. All right, so I want to do that as well. And so let's do that real quickly here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the MT4. So here's the MT4 daily. And what you see here is the long-term trend identified by the channel indicator. We've been trading up in the upper band of the channel. We know that by the fact that we've got these channel dots that came in that are indicating that we're in areas where we are looking at overbought situations. Okay. Now remember, just because you're overbought doesn't mean that you have to turn around. It means that it's just overbought. And there might be a pullback, there may not be a pullback. And so now looking at all of this information, I'm seeing that we are looking at a potential for price to drop. My long-term trend is still up. So I'm not going to, again, jump into this type of a trade when the long-term trend is up. And I'm looking at the MACD. Although we have a yellow circle here where the MACD crossed below the signal line, indicating that there's weakness. That happened here, and price did continue to go down below that, but now price went down, price went up while the MACD was dropping right below there. So what does that tell you? Okay, now if you follow indicators and look at a divergence, we have divergence now where price has been moving up and the indicator has been moving down. So there's some divergence here that may be significant. Okay, and then what we had was we had an alert here. We had an alert confirmation. Okay, we had an alert confirmation identified by this circle with the white or clear arrow inside the circle, and we had this commercial indicator showing that price is likely to come down. Okay, now when this happens, when everything lines up like this, we can see that that indication was confirmed by a big move to the downside here. And so if I was willing to take the risk to jump in on this at the close of this day, based on all of this information, it could work. But when I see price pulling deep into or below this pink box here, usually it tells me that price is likely to retrace back to the bottom of the box, or look inside the box and see if you can find some lows, some candle bodies that kind of line up. And what it's doing right now is it's lining up on the price is lining up on those. So it might be a good time to go ahead and take a short on the Euro USD. And I say might be because I'm only looking at the daily chart, and I need to look at some additional confirmation. Okay, what do I want for additional confirmation? Well, I'm going to look down at the hourly chart. So I'm going to drop down from daily to hourly. Let's see what we can see here. Okay, on the hourly chart, let's see if I can pull that down here. Okay, on the hourly chart, we can see that we were in a downtrend, but now that's flattened out. So the trend is no longer very strong to the downside. I have got an alert here. Remember, that alert is only an indication that there may be a change in trend direction. All right, so and looking down here at the MACD, I can see that the MACD is, there's no divergence down here in the MACD. No divergence at all. Everything is still in place. So there isn't a confirmation that price wants to move down on the hourly chart. And obviously it has to be coming down on the hourly chart before it's going to be a significant move on the daily. And so let's jump down to even lower. Let's go to the 5-minute. And so I'm going to 5 minutes now and see if we can, there we go. All right, so on the 5-minute chart, let me open this up a little bit. And you can see there's a little jagged move here. How do we get rid of the jagged move? Well, what you do is you go to usually a higher time frame. So that would be 30. Click on the 30 and then go back. And all we're doing is we're filling in data that the move to the 15 didn't pick up initially. So there you see a nice smooth. And what do we see here? Oh, on the 15-minute chart, there is divergence, right? Here we see divergence. So price is still rising on the 15, while the indicator down here, the MACD, is dropping. So there is divergence that we're seeing here. However, one of the commercial indicator is still indicating that price could go up. So we haven't got, all right, so I'm going to open this up. What do we see here? Okay, what do we see? So on the 15-minute chart here, what we see again is that price still, we're in the second period, and that's 15-minute period, right? Second 15-minute period of an upward move that should last about 6 periods. So there's still, according to the algorithm here, there's still an opportunity for price to move up, continue to move up. And just above there, okay, we can see here on the 15-minute chart, there is an area where price is likely to run into some unfilled orders up in here, okay, unfilled orders. If it does change direction and come down and everything matches up on the 15-minute chart, then that would be a good indication to go ahead and take the trade, right? Because obviously if it's coming down on the 15-minute, it'll be coming down on the hourly and the daily. But again, if you take the trade based on 15-minute, you need to make sure that you set your stops and set your target based on 15-minute. Okay, and then you can adjust those as things continue to look better or change. So it's very important that we do this analysis. So here we can see that it looks like the Euro USD may be headed for a reversal. Who knows? With the turmoil in the US right now, there's an idea by other countries, you know, other players in the market, that there's some trouble, and when there's trouble, there will be weakness in the currency. Okay, so it's troubling times. That's why we're seeing that the U.S. dollar is showing some weakness. Our Forex math last week indicated that the dollar was the weakest of all currencies. Okay, and so what we see here is again, second of a potential 6-period move to the upside. And so looking at this is not something that we would be interested in taking a look at. Okay, and I have to adjust this. Okay, and you see here, maybe you can see it inside here, there's a little gray area. That's the zone that I identified on the 15-minute chart. So they carry over. So you can see that price is now just approaching that. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let me bring back this and go back to daily chart. Okay, there's the daily. I'm going to go ahead and open this up big, and here are the six. Let me go ahead and there we go. All right, here are the six, the 8 majors. Okay, and so let's look at the top. Remember, across the top of these 8 major currencies, the U.S. is in the base position, of the symbol. So that means that the chart is reflecting the U.S. Okay. And overall here, let me go ahead and see. so we can see what that looks like. We can see that. We can see that. All right, everything. So we can see the channel. Okay, so we have been in a down movement. That we're at the bottom of the daily channel. Price has started to give an indication that it wants to go up, but remember, the overall is still showing to the downside. So any trades that we take counter to the overall trend have to be very cautious. That means that we shouldn't be looking for big moves. Okay, so you look for your big moves when you are trading with, not only with the overall trend as identified by the channel, you're going to be trading with the moves, the current moves identified by the profiles here. Okay. All right, so US Swiss, let's take a look here. We have down, and looks like we might get a confirmation to the downside. So the US Swiss, possible short coming up. Nothing right now as I can see it. US yen, similar to the Swiss, right? US yen, yen and Swiss are safe haven currencies. So we're looking at that against the US dollar. The price did have a move to the upside and then dropped. Here we have a price again moving to the upside and dropping. Okay, looks the same on all of the US dollar across every place. Here in the lower four charts, the US dollar is in the counter position. There is a different currency in the base position. So that means that whatever you're looking at the chart, the dollar is doing the opposite. So here, Euro USD, we can see that the overall trend is still showing to the upside. We've had a little pullback here. And as we looked at it just a little bit ago, there's nothing to tell me right now that this is a good trade to the downside. I would have to see some momentum coming in the shorter time frames. So because the channel is up and the US is in the counter position, it means the dollar is weak. Again, dollar here in the pound is in the counter position. And so what we're seeing here is strength to the upside, on the pound against the dollar. Okay, so that might be interesting to take a look at. Let's open it up, take a look. So our channel is definitely showing strength. Let me go ahead and increase the size of that a little bit. All right, showing some strength here. We had an alert for the down. We finally got a confirmation on the alert here, but as soon as we got that alert confirmation, price turned around and started moving up again. Okay, as long as the histogram, the MACD histogram, is above the 0 line, that means there's still strength. There's still strength there. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we're looking at pound USD. Let's take over here, pound USD, and move that so that we can see. Okay. All right. So what are we looking at here? My goodness. We're looking at overlapping uh, areas of unfilled orders. So we've got this overlapping area here. Actually, that's not overlapping. There's, whoops. Let's do it again. Okay. Here we have, okay, there we can see there is a unfilled order area right there where price is likely to create a pullback or a reversal. We don't know. But just below that area, we have also this big unfilled order area where we have a potential for unfilled buy orders, unfilled sell orders, unfilled buy orders. And so the distance between the two is very small, okay, very small. Looking at it on the daily chart, doesn't look like there's much opportunity there. Let's go ahead and let me go down to the 1 hour. And what do we see on the 1 hour here? On the 1 hour chart, price has just been rising. It's very strong to the upside, showing me a lot of strength, continuous strength to the upside. So I would think that although we keep getting the auto phase indications saying, hey, you know, price, the algorithm thinks price should turn around. Even if it does turn around, it runs into a lot of these unfilled buy orders that are showing up down below here. And let me go ahead and move down to the 15-minute. Okay. Likewise here on the 15-minute chart, all we can really see, all we really have is buy long positions. We're currently in the 20th period on the 15-minute chart of a position that should, the algorithm said, could last or should last for about 6 periods. So we're 14 periods beyond that. So that's an indication that this is going to go beyond. So if you did get in to a position at the beginning of, let me go ahead and change this to crosshair. Okay, so if you did get in for whatever reason here, okay, I don't know if you can see that now that I've changed the cursor. At the beginning of this series of blue, let me go ahead and move this back to arrow so that you can see things better. Okay, so here was the beginning of that blue stretch right there. You got blue dots, strong, the big blue dots come in. You had price cross above the profile lines. You had price inside of the zones, or the areas where there should be a lot of buying. On the 15-minute GBP, let's go ahead and see what it looks like here on the 15-minute MT4. All right, so here we can see that price is rising, but the indicator here, where the circle, from the circle, it's obviously price has been dropping. So there's some divergence here, and what we're going to be looking for is a nice strong confirmation that the pound should pull down. As long as the overall trend is strong to the upside, that change in direction might be simply a retracement, a correction, or it could be a reversal. So I would trade that accordingly. Okay, so here we can see, again, look at these two charts. They are the same. Okay. And we see the same charts here. Okay, same information on the two charts. The MT4, we are looking at the channel information. We're looking at the MACD information. Here on the trading view chart, we are looking at the unfilled order information and the climate information. So when we combine all of this information together, you're never going to have, or very seldom will you have, 100% consistency. You have to understand that when you get all this information, all the indications, that you have to weigh in your mind which things are the strongest indication, because that weighting, or a weight application of indications, will change the way you want to take the trade, right? For instance, down here on the MACD, what I'm seeing is the MACD is very flat, hugging basically the zero line, and so it's a weak upside. There's a weak upside to it. Okay, if the MACD crosses below the zero line, and the signal line crosses below the zero line, and I'm getting good indications above here, even though the overall trend based on the channel says up, I might be inclined to put on a short trade, but again, I wouldn't be anticipating that short would go all the way to the other side. It might only be a pullback, and I would monitor and manage the position based on my rules, my trading rules. Okay, so we took a look at that. Let's look at one more. I've got a few minutes left. Usually the Aussie US is one that a lot of people like to trade. It's a good trade. Okay. So this is the 15-minute Aussie US. Now the 15-minute Aussie US is right now showing weakness. Everything just lined up. My timer says we have about 2 minutes for this period to end, and if we get this red dot in there. So we've got a we're in a zone, right? We're in the unfilled orders. It's coming out of the unfilled orders, going down here to this area here. So let me go ahead and take a look at what Aussie USD looks like here. Okay, and so we're going to go down to the 15. All right, so this had a turnaround here. Let's take a look here. Open this up. All right. So I don't know why. Take a look at the indicator here. Okay. We don't have that commercial indicator on here. Let's put that on. Just say okay. All right. So we did get a pullback. It looks like this is going down. Okay, it looks like the Aussie is going down. And now let's go ahead and go to the daily. Daily has not given me any confirmation to the downside. Aussie USD here 15. Let's go ahead and look at the daily. All right. Get this here. So we have an area just above on the daily. And we have this area just below on the daily. And that looks like a pretty big move available to us. However, again, the current trend is up. So I would be monitoring, my suggestion would be to monitor the Aussie US for a drop, get your confirmations all lined up, and see if there's a trade opportunity there. All right. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you and you understand again how we correlate the TradingView charts with our MT4 charts to give us a better opportunity to take a trade, increase probabilities of a successful trade. We are not pushing to put on a trade. There's no reason that you have to take a trade. Only take those trades when your analysis confirms your trading plan. You should have your trading plan set up. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next Wednesday again on YouTube. Good trading.